There is a lot going on with this candle, and I absolutely love it. And so many of you love it as well. And did I mention, it's a gourmand. Let's talk about the amazing Breakfast Leipzig scent from DS and Durga. Hey, what's up? I'm Rekeema. Welcome to Detaileddream, where the primary focus is to expose you to the expansive world of luxury goods for yourself and your home. It has been a while since I featured DS and Durga on the channel. It's an incredible brand with some of the most unique scents that transport you to a point in time or place that best describes the meaning behind that specific scent. It's the idea of exploring an imaginary world inside of a fragrance bottle or candle vessel. I remember when I first learned about DS and Durga, I went to see what their candles were about, and I saw notes like hot metal, wet wood, electricity, and I really didn't understand what was going on. I was so used to seeing the usual notes like bergamot, cedarwood, jasmine. I mean, the usual notes we're used to are still part of their scent profiles, but seeing the other notes like hot metal was a bit unusual, at least for me. That's until I read the stories behind the scents, and everything started to click. I mean, there isn't a name for notes like hot metal or wet wood, so what other way would you describe it, right? And when you put your nose to the scent, you really smell those unique notes. It's a great experience. And once you know the story behind the scent, then you'll understand why those unique notes are listed in the scent profile. I just wanted to talk about the uniqueness of the scent notes because I think they're interesting and exciting. If you're familiar with the DS and Durga, then you know this is not your average fragrance brand with normal candle scents. They stand out, and boy, do they stand out. In a good way, of course. I mentioned in last week's video that I'll be exploring more gourmand scents next year. What better way to start than now with a favorite candle of mine from DS and Durga, Breakfast Leipzig. My apologies if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I should learn some German if I plan on going to Germany one day. Anyways, I didn't realize I already had a few gourmands in the collection, including Breakfast Leipzig. I did need a fresh one, so I recently picked one up. It looks like I'm off to a good start with gourmands because this scent is surprisingly good. Let me give you the synopsis to really understand the idea behind this scent and why it was created before we get into the notes. The idea on this scent is based on the cafe in Leipzig where Bach wrote his famous Java cantata, or coffee cantata. I just learned about this opera piece while researching for this conversation. Coffee Cantata was one of Bach's more unique works that he composed in the 1700s. From my understanding, it's a comic opera about a disgruntled father and his daughter who's obsessed with coffee. I listened to Cantata while smelling this scent, and I can say, it does make me feel like I'm also in that coffee shop with the many different smells this scent has. DS wants you to imagine the tightly packed tables of people eating buttery almond pastries with strong coffee. They want you to envision the smoking pipes with tobacco clouds and the hint of an old fireplace in the corner. Envision people talking while reading the newspaper. And you can't forget the leather upholstery on the seats. This is Breakfast Leipzig. Everything you can imagine being at a cafe mid-morning. This scent will take you there. I often skip breakfast, but this candle makes me want to whip up some French toast, eggs, and coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. This is one of DS and Durga's first overtly gourmand scents that transports you to that cafe in Leipzig simply by lighting the candle. The top notes consist of Japanese coffee and delicious almond pastry, paired with the mid notes of tobacco leaf and creamy butter, and heavy, necessary base notes of leather upholstery and fireplace. You see what I mean when I said understanding the story and you'll understand the scent profile. Even though it has unique notes of leather upholstery, almond pastry, and fireplace, you can definitely pick up on those unique notes in this. But something to really understand about Breakfast Leipzig is that it's not this overly sweet in-your-face gourmand like you would expect. It's what I surely was expecting. It's subtle, but intriguing at the same time. When I smell this scent, I mostly get the coffee smell, not a bitter coffee, but a subtle sweet coffee. Not bad, but there's something more within this scent that keeps me wanting more. There are the gourmand notes, of course, like coffee, almond pastry, and butter that you can pick up on from the cold throw. But when this is burning, you get the full effect of the scent with smoky tobacco leaf, fireplace, and the amazing smell of leather. This is a perfectly balanced gourmand scent that isn't one of those overly sweet scents. It gives you just enough gourmand where you can still pick up on the other notes as well. It's actually quite beautiful. The cold throw of the scent is moderate. I wish it was a little stronger because I would love to smell this more while it's not burning. I do get subtle whiffs of a light coffee and a buttery pastry, but not a constant aroma from the cold throw. The performance of the hot throw, on the other hand, is a different story. This candle is a strong performer, which is shocking because the wick is very thin. It looks like it wouldn't be able to burn much, but it works well. Every time I use my wick dipper, it feels like I'm going to break it in half, so I'm extra cautious when putting it out. DS and Durga candles in general are very strong with hot throw performance, which is something I really love about this brand. It's the consistency with their candles that are very good with even burns. And plus, their candles are made with a soy vegetable wax. It's always great to see a sustainable wax being used. The hot throw is great for a medium to large size space or one bedroom apartment. About 20 minutes into burning and you'll begin to pick up on the scent from across the room, depending on how far away from the candle you are, of course. If you're familiar with Harlem Candle Co., I would say they have very similar performance when it comes to the hot throw. I absolutely love the burn on Breakfast Leipzig. To smell the hints of leather and smoky notes blending together with the light, sweet, subtle notes makes this scent stand out. And with great performance, especially from a 7-ounce candle. This is off topic, but DS and Durga has a new 28-ounce candle in the Big Sur After Rain scent. They call it the Big Sur After Rain. I don't believe DS has made a candle this size before, so I'm happy to see them adding a new size to the lineup. Just thought I should mention it. I was surprised when I seen it. Okay, back to Breakfast Leipzig. I should mention, this candle is sold out on the DS and Durga website. It's one of their popular scents. At least I think it is. But I seen you can still get it from Nordstrom and Candle Delirium. I can't believe I didn't talk about this scent sooner. I get asked about it often. This is a Gourmand candle you have to put your nose to if you're a fan of Gourmand or you just need something different in the collection. It's not the sweet scent you think it is. They have done a great job at keeping it subtle. They have a couple stores in New York that you should pay a visit to if you're in town. The one in Soho is the one I loved going to, and there's another one in Brooklyn. Get out and sniff some candles. I think they're worth it. Definitely smell this before buying. It may surprise you. And remember to sniff with intention to really understand their scents. I don't purchase too many candles a second time, but this is one of them. And shockingly, it's Gourmand. Unbelievable. What are your thoughts on DS and Durga? If you have the Breakfast Leipzig scent, what do you like most about it? What stands out to you most about it? I just hope I don't become addicted to coffee. Even worse, Starbucks coffee.